The Barbie movie is absolute garbage. So this Oppenheimer weekend has certainly been one for the ages, and out of the two movies in Barbenheimer, Barbie is actually performing better at the box office than Oppenheimer. I can't say I'm surprised because Barbie definitely has more of a mass appeal than a biopic of guys talking about molecules, but just because it made money doesn't make it good. The Barbie movie feels like a unicorn just decided to take a rainbow shit on the screen, but even though it sucks, I'm here today anyway to review Barbie. So before I begin, it's important to note that this movie has definitely stirred up a wide array of controversy due to the fact that this is probably the highest grossing feminist rant movie of all time. And there are a lot of dudes online complaining about it, which is fine. I myself thought this movie was abysmal, but the question that I'll ask is this. Sure, the marketing from the trailers might have been a little misleading, but were you really as a full-grown man expecting to like the Barbie movie? Of course this movie was going to be a feminist rant. It's 2023, and although it was a little more blatant in its messaging than I was expecting, what did you think this movie was going to be? To sum up the wise words of Tristan Tate, if you're a grown-ass man writing poor reviews about the Barbie movie as if you were expecting to like it, then I think you seriously have some other issues to consider. This movie from the get-go was clearly made for woke women. I am a 20-year-old man. I could not be further from the target audience. However, I am a film reviewer and analyzer, so I am still going to look at this movie through my objective lens, and not through the lens as if I expected this movie to be good, and I'm now complaining about the fact that it isn't. I just felt like I had to get that little rant out before I started. But anyways, let's get into the shitfest, which is Barbie. Right from the very get-go, we get a ripoff of the opening scene from 2001, and the movie replaces the monkeys with little girls and the monolith with Barbie. Little girls throughout time have always mostly played with dolls that are infants, and when they discover Barbie for the first time, they smash all their baby dolls' heads open, thus symbolizing the death of modern little girls wanting to grow up to be mothers and take on nurturing roles in society. Ugh, we're off to a bad start. We then get our first introduction to Barbieland, and if there is anything good I have to say about this film, it would have to be that the set design, costumes, and editing, especially when they're in Barbieland, is pretty fantastic. They really nail to a T the Barbie aesthetic, so I have to give credit where credit is due. But that's about where my praise for this movie ends. Right from the very get-go, the writers make it very clear just how much they hate men. The women in Barbieland occupy every single role and job that society has to offer, and all the Kens are just there. They have no reason for really existing. And the writers play this off like this is an exact contrast to the real world, because in their minds, in the real world, women are seen as nothing more than just worthless objects, which is just blatantly false, but they're gonna make this point anyway so that they can fuel their self-indulgent nonsense. So the plot really gets going when stereotypical Barbie, played by Margot Robbie, starts having a sort of crisis when she starts having dark thoughts and starts developing physical flaws such as flat feet and cellulite on her legs. So when she goes to visit Weird Barbie tells Barbie that she must go to the real world and find the girl that's been playing with her a little too rough, and only then can her perfect self be restored. And so it is. Stereotypical Barbie leaves Barbieland and is joined by absolute simp, also known as stereotypical Ken, played by Ryan Gosling. Why? Well, because he's a simp. So when the two of them finally make their way to the real world, something seems a little off to Barbie. Why are all these men looking at me funny? Why is every single man in existence making a sexually demeaning comment about me? What's that? It's the patriarchy. So the writers give us the most disingenuous version of reality possible in order to push this so-called patriarchy message. And Barbie, of course, doesn't exactly like what she finds. Ken, however, loves the patriarchy. Patriarchy this, patriarchy that. The patriarchy is everything that Ken ever dreamed. He's truly becoming a modern man now, isn't he? This kind of leads into another issue, which is the fact that the writers feel as if they need to use the word patriarchy every other sentence so that the message of the film gets across to the viewers, which really just shows that this film is being made by absolute idiots. But anyways, moving on. So Barbie eventually finds the humans that she needs to find, and when she starts getting hunted down by the executives at Mattel, who don't like the fact that she's come to the real world, the three of them escape back to Barbieland. But upon their return to Barbieland, something strange has happened, and they eventually realize that Ken got back there first and brung the patriarchy with him, absolutely transforming the whole society. No longer is Barbieland, it's just turned into a college spring break at Fort Lauderdale. This kind of begs the question of how did all the Barbies just fall under this spell? I thought they were all supposed to be strong, independent women that didn't need men. They don't seem so strong and independent to me. So the only way to restore Barbieland back to the way that it was is to get all the Kens to fight against each other so they can re-amend the Constitution. So they come up with a plan, and all the idiotic Kens fall for it, of course, and all is returned back to normal. And this is supposed to be a happy ending, I guess. You think that this film showing two extreme forms of society, one an absolute matriarchy and the other an absolute patriarchy, might come to the conclusion that both of these styles of societies are flawed, and that in an ideal society, men and women use their strengths and work together to make the best existence possible for everyone. But no, the lesson to be learned from this film is that the matriarchy should be the ideal setup that every culture and people should strive for. Overall, as I said before, Barbie is just one big pile of unicorn shit. I'm not angry about the film or disappointed in the film itself, because I mean, what did you expect? It's the Barbie movie. I guess that I'm just disappointed in the fact that extreme ideologies like this that are so destructive to society are allowed to get these mainstream platforms. Barbie is really just a representation of the direction that the Western world seems to be going. And if we're not careful, the movie industry along with it. Well, that's gonna do it for my review on Barbie, effectively bringing an end to this Barbenheimer weekend. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, consider hitting that subscribe button so we can grow this channel together. Also, if you want to watch my review for Oppenheimer, click the video on the top left corner of the screen. But anyways, that's all I got for today, guys. I'll see you next time.